Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Eitan Yudilevich. I'm the Executive Director of the Bird Foundation, and we are here today for the Technical and Fiscal Seminar for new grantees. So first, let me start by congratulating all of you for the achievement of winning the grant, winning a Bird grant. Welcome to the Bird family, we can say. And today we're here to see and hear presentations by members of the Bird team on reporting and also on the process of signing the contract, what we call the CPFA. So this is supposed to be a very informative session for you and very important since it will guide you and help you during the project and also in the near term for the contractual process, as I said. We're actually quite ready to start. The first presentation will be given by Mr. Omer Carmel, Director of Business Development. He will be presenting the technical reporting. And then Natalie Galperin, Bird CFO, will present the fiscal reporting and also refer to the CPFA process. We can answer questions. We will try to answer questions. Some of them can be answered in real time in the chat, but if you have questions on the fiscal reporting, I suggest to write them on the chat, and then at the end, we will do this orally. Natalie will answer the questions orally. And also, please be muted so it doesn't interfere with the presentations. Again, welcome everyone. Hope you have a productive session. And we're here, of course, to help you and answer all the questions possible. Ready to go? Omer, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Eitan. Hello, everyone. My name is Omer Carmel. I'm Director of Business Development with the Bird Foundation. And we'll start with the technical reporting and explain, how to construct them and how and when you should send them to us. So the first issue is the objective. Of course, the naive answer for the objective of this reporting would be to monitor the progress report, but as a matter of fact, it's much more than just that. The idea is to put us all on the same page with regards to the project status, and this will allow us, the Bird team, to assist you in making better decisions during your project. The most common example for that is identifying whether you need some additional time to complete your project, and if needed, we'll advise you considering project extension. And I remind you that this could be done only if you have at least 3 months to go before the project completion. Another example could be identifying that the funding is not optimally utilized. In that case, we could suggest you to consider making some adjustment to your work plan. And this could improve your funding utilization. So to conclude, we suggest you to treat us as your partner. Remember that we want you to succeed. And we'll be able to assist you if you'll keep us updated during your project and advise if you encounter with any challenges or some unforeseen issues during your project. And the mechanism of the reporting mechanism allow us to actually and allow you to put us all on the same page. So the next slide, you will see all the contact details and actually all the Bird team. On your left-hand side, you see the finance department. They will be dealing with your fiscal report and also involved in the CPFA process. Ms. Natalie Galperin and Ms. Oriana Moyal. Ms. Chava Dukan, our office manager, she will be dealing with all the issues until your CPFA is signed. And we assign to each project a dedicated person. We call this person PBC, or Primary Bird Contact. And this person accompany each and every project from its inception until completion. And the team who is doing that is our executive director, Dr. Yudilevich, Ms. Limor Nakar, Vincent, Mr. Tal Kelem, and myself. And you have on the right side of the screen also the US team. This includes Ms. Maya Vardi, Shoshani from the West Coast, Ms. Andrea Yona from the East Coast, and Ms. Shirif Proen from the southern part of the US and Texas. So in this table, you can see all the new BIRD grantees coming both from the general program and also the Homeland Security program. So please identify yourself on this in this table. You see on your left side the BIRD reference number. This is your project number, and you should use it whenever you send us the reports, and also we recommend also in every correspondence you have with the BIRD team. On your right-hand side, the right column of this table, you can see the PBC, which is associated with your project. So please, identify all these details. I'll give you a few more seconds to do that. Okay. Now let's go to the reporting itself. So each project is divided into segments, in most cases of 6 months. This is defined actually in your CPFA, and by the end of each segment, you need to send us 2 reports, the technical report and the fiscal report. You have 30 days following the segment conclusion to send us these reports. There is 1 technical report and 2 fiscal reports for each company. The technical report is written jointly by the 2 partners, and the fiscal report is written separately by each company. We ask you to send us both a soft copy using the upload system you already should be familiar with. And we ask you also to send us hard copies by courier to our office in Tel Aviv. Make sure that the dates appearing on both the technical and fiscal reports are the same. The process is that your PBC will review your technical report, and our finance team will review your fiscal report. If we'll have some questions regarding the reports, we'll probably initiate some virtual meeting to ask you questions about the details of the report. And keep in mind that the approval of the reports by BIRD is actually prerequisite for the continued funding of your project. So you don't want to delay the submission of these reports. Regarding the final report, you have 60 days following the project completion to send us both the fiscal and technical reports. This example illustrates what I've just said. The project starts with what we call the effective date. This is the initiation date where your project actually starts, and it is defined in the CPFA. In this example, the project duration is 18 months, and we expect to receive the first interim report and fiscal report by up until month 7th, and the second interim report until month 13. And following the 18-month project, the final report should reach our offices by month 20. Again, counting from the effective date. We call, by the way, to the final date of the project, the conclusion date, the termination date. This is all you'll find it also in your CPFA. So where could you find the documents, the reporting documents? So you go to our website, www.birdf.com. You choose the drop-down list guidelines and forms, and choose the procedural submission forms. And this will lead you to this window where you should choose the reporting procedure and forms. And this will bring you to this window when you'll have several links. This link is the link for the reporting guideline. This is the booklet where you can find all the guidelines, how to actually build and construct the reports. And we have two sections here. This section is dedicated for the interim report, and you have the interim technical report template. This is the Word document, and you have the fiscal report template, which is an Excel file. And this section is dedicated for the final reports. Here we have actually three templates. The first one is called the Final Technical Report Part 1, and Final Technical Report Part 2, and again, the Fiscal Report. And in this session, we'll actually review the interim technical report and both the final technical report Part 1 and Part 2. So before we dive into the report themselves, we have few requests and recommendations. We do prefer you to, prepare the report by the book. There is a very extensive guidelines and comprehensive guidelines how to actually construct these documents. And everything is really self-explanatory, and we provide you also this template, which should make your life very easy. Having said that, keep in mind that each one of us is handling more than one project, and we are definitely not expert in the field like you. So keep the reporting simple and comprehensible. If you use some acronyms or abbreviation, we ask you to provide some glossary and explanation of the terms you're using. Remember, if you'll find the reports hard to understand, there will be some missing information, or you won't follow the report template, all these could lead to questions and delays in the report approval. And as I've already mentioned, this could cause a delay of the next segment payment. So you definitely don't want to be there. Regarding the report, now we are diving into the actual material. So the template starts with the cover page, which you can see now on the screen. And you are asked to fill in all the relevant details here. Make sure to include the bird reference number, which you can see over here, the segment number of your project, the dates of the reporting, the dates which are covered by this segment reporting. You are asked to have signature of both partners, both of the project manager and the authorized company official of both companies. And don't forget to include also the date of when you actually submitted the reports. Okay, so these are the sections of the report itself. So it starts with the table of contents with a page numbering. We prepared it for you already. So after completing your report, you just need to right-click on it. It's based on Word, and everything should be, but would be also automatically updated. Section 2, 3, and 4, we essentially want to understand that the project status, what is a project status and how it compares with the original project plan. In Section 2, Section 2 deals with the project objective. Please mention both the original project objective and also the current segment project objective, and highlight if there were any changes compared with the original plan. In Section 3, this is a summary of accomplishment, and basically this is a story of this segment, okay? So essentially this is the major part of your report. And it is a summary of the work you've done and the accomplishment during this segment. It's a free text paragraph where you should elaborate on the achieved results, the method you used in this segment. You could add diagram, chart, images, or any other tools which could exemplify and describe the work you've done. Section 4 deals with the results of this segment. and the results refer both to the tasks compare them to the task of the original project plan, and also the milestone and deliverables, where you should advise on the progress of them and how they compare with the original project plan. We provide for this section these tables, which you can see now on your screen, and we ask you to use the same task number which appears on your Gantt chart. And this is true also for the task name and for the milestone and deliverables. Okay. Because this makes we can compare exactly the task that you refer to and the task that appears on the original work plan. In section 5, this is basically the same as in section 4, but it refers to the next segment report. And again, we want you to advise us on what your plans for the next segment with regard to the project task and also with regard to the deliverables and the milestone. And this is also the place for you to evaluate if you need some or to make any rescheduling to your activities, or maybe you need some additional activities and update the work plan. So if that's the case, you should consult with us, with the PBC, if it makes sense to ask for an extension to your project termination date. Okay, section 6 deals with the presentation of the Gantt chart. We ask you to present the progress of your project. And you do it with a dynamic Gantt chart, as you can see now on your screen. Show the original project plan and show also the past and planned task rescheduling, and show the percentage of the task completion. Okay. We want to see, how you compare with the original plan, and based on that, understand your progress. Section 7 deals with the cooperation between the partners. This is seems like a esoteric issue, but it's actually not. Based on our experience, good cooperation and communication between the partners is one of the key ingredients for a successful BERT project. So we would like to get an update on that, and we do recommend you and start from now to build some mechanism that will ensure a good level of communication between the partners. This could include weekly and monthly calls, virtual meetings, communication metrics, some agreed upon ways to discuss and resolve challenges, and so forth. This is really, really important, especially in a joint project when the two partners are between the two different sides of the ocean. In section 8, we ask you to actually revisit the risk analysis, which you've used in the project proposal. And we want to understand basically if you've encountered with any new risk factors, or maybe the severity of the identified risk factor changed. So we want to understand how these dynamics may affect the project outcome. And you can see an example on your screen. In this example here, the example provide on the screen show an increased risk due to some potential late approval of the FAA, Federal Airplane Association, which may impact the project duration in this case. So we want to understand what are the increased risk and how this may affect your project. Section 9 and 10 and the appendix. These are the last part of the interim report. In section 9, we want you to identify if you have any, if you find any changes in the dynamic in the market, and if these changes may affect the program plan or the your sale forecast. Section 10, in this section, we ask you to mention any new publication that that are related to the project and which were published during this segment report. This could include patents, press releases, or any other publication. And I remind you that in accordance with the section E of the CPFA, you acknowledged, you should acknowledge to support, to mention the BERT support in any publication that you have which is related to your project. You can add any appendixes you like at the end of the interim report if you didn't find the right place to include any additional material in the section I've mentioned. Okay, so this is actually conclude the interim technical report, and we can move now to the final report. The final report, it actually has two parts, as you've seen previously on the screen. I'll review it again. The first part is a Word document, and the second part is the Excel document, which we call also the marketing forecast. The Word document is almost the same as the interim technical report, okay? With slight changes. We took out the what was section 5 in the interim report, which deals with the plans for the next segment. Obviously, there is no next segment by the end of the project. And we added 4 additional new sections. Section 9, which deals with the future activities of your joint project. And this includes both the R&D future activities and also marketing and sales future activities. And this is regardless whether you are going to do them separately or jointly with your partner. Section 11 is an updated market forecast, and section 12 is a summary of the market size and growth rate, and they are both related to a repayment forecast, the repayment to the BERT Foundation. The last section is the project summary presentation, and I'll now elaborate more on each of these new sections which are part of the final technical report. So in section 11, you see an updated market forecast, and it starts with the table you can see now on your screen. In this section, you should identify and define up to 2 market segments and up to 2 products that are relevant to your project. So essentially, there could be up to 4 combinations here, of course, and you should fill in only the details of the valid combinations, okay? It's not necessarily that all the 4 combinations should be filled here. And I'll give you an example. Let's assume you have developed a new product and it addresses 2 different markets. Let's say market A and market B. So in that case, you should fill in the information about the product and about the 2 markets. And you have the combination 1N and 1B, which later on you should elaborate on them. Below this table, you should provide description of the product which appears here, and description about the market, and description about the forecast and the factors that affect the forecast of each one of these combinations. In our case, 2 combinations. Section 12 is a summary of the market size and sales forecast of all the combinations you have identified in the previous section, in section 11. And we provide you with the tables that you see now on the screen, and where you should fill in the forecast figures. And in order to calculate all these figures here, you should use the Excel file I've mentioned, which I called it the the final technical report part 2, which we'll review later on. The Excel file is actually the tool to fill in all the relevant figures of these tables, okay? We'll go through the Excel file later on. The last part is the appendix. We ask you to include also the project summary presentation. This is actually the final presentation that summarizes your project. And after reviewing your final report, your PBC will schedule a virtual meeting with you, with both partners, to discuss the project, and the basis for this discussion is this presentation. And you can see on the screen the major subjects that we expect to have in this presentation. So it's a summary of the accomplishments and objectives, the task and schedule, milestone and deliverable, the project results, of course, and future plans, and road to commercialization, including the sale forecast, which is actually relates to section 12, which we've just discussed. So I promised you to review the Excel file. So before that, I'll remind you again where you can find it. If you remember, in the final report section, you have the second line is the link to the Excel file. And I'll open it now, and we'll make a short simulation how to actually use it. So I need to stop share this screen, and let me upload the this one. Just a second. Where is it? Oops, I can't find it. Just a second. Ah, here it is. Okay. Okay, you see the Excel file on the screen? Somebody give me feedback.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So this is the Excel file. You have different worksheets, as you can see here below. You have instructions. You have the cover page, where it's really the same cover page as you've seen in the Word document. You have to fill in, and you can fill in the details only in the yellow marked cells, as you can see here. And the first worksheet to work with is the part 2 summary. You put here your bird reference number. Let's say this is, I don't know, 1645. The US company name, US, the Israeli company name, IL. The project title, let's call it PPP. Date of submission, let's say this is today. And the project termination year, calendar year. So let's say 23. And here, if you recall, you have the combination. So you have product 1, let's call it P1, and you have market A and market B. These are the combinations which are valid for your project deliverables. And that's it. Now you move and you refer to the worksheets which refer to the combination you chose here. Okay. So in our example, this should be 1A and 1B. Okay. These are the combination of the product and the market. So you go to product 1A. You have already the details of the project itself, which you actually entered previously in the previous worksheet. And you enter the market size. Let's say this is in millions. So let's say 200. Let's assume this is an annual growth rate of 5%. As you can see, you fill in just the yellow marked cells. This is in this cell, this is the original forecast you provided already in the proposal. So let's assume, and by the way, this is the multiples of thousands. It's not million, as you can see here. So let's say this is, I don't know, 100,000. Let's say 150 next, the year after, 200 and 250. So this is the original forecast, and this is the current forecast. So in many cases, you can find difference between what you assumed when you actually wrote down the proposal and after you completed your project. But let's assume you were on the money and the forecast remains the same. So just for simplicity, I use the same numbers, 200, 250. And that's about it. Of course, you need to do the same for the combination 1B. I won't do it right now. And you go back to the part 2 summary, and down below you see all the tables which you've seen on table on section 12 in the Word document. So the only thing you need to do now is just copy these tables and paste it to the section 12 of the Word document, and you're all set. Okay, before finishing this, don't forget to go back to the cover page and fill in all the details. You need also to sign on this cover page in the same manner you signed on the Word document. Okay, so this is the Excel file demonstration. Let's go back to the presentation. Hopefully this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. So now I need to just find out what was the slide that was, okay. Okay, this was the page where I showed you where to find the Excel file. So after you have all this, how do you upload the documents to our website? Again, go to the guidelines form, reporting upload system, and use this link, the upload bird. And you should enter your username and password, which you have already, and choose your project. And there you'll find, beside your executive summary and proposal, also the reports. And you upload them in the same manner you did with the executive summary and the proposal itself. I remind you again, we want to become digital at some point, but still we still in the analog era, and we do ask you to send us also the hard copy by courier to our Israeli Tel Aviv office. So frequently asked questions. Hopefully this will answer at least some of your questions. So what happens if the progress is slower than the program plan? Do I submit the technical report as scheduled? The answer is yes. If the actual spending is less than the forecast, again, you should submit the technical report as scheduled. If from some reason the spending is greater than the forecast and the actual progress is the same or ahead of program plan, we do recommend you to consult with your primary bird contact, and he will raise this and we'll have an internal discussion to decide how to treat that. Sometimes you find yourself where the technical report is ready, but the fiscal report is not ready, or vice versa. You don't send us only one report, okay? You should send us both. We won't start reviewing your reports if we'll have only one of them. What happens if the project scope has changed? Again, you should be in touch with us, with your PBC, and following this consultation, we'll probably request you to submit us a formal request signed by both companies to modify your project plan and maybe also your fiscal and budget. What happens if more time is needed to complete the project? I mentioned this already. I mean, you should consult with us, and you can ask for an extension to your project following submitting a formal request signed by both companies. What happens if the project is completed ahead of schedule? Not happened a lot, but if that's the case, just complete and submit the report to us. So I hope this was comprehensible. So good luck to all of you, and I'll pass the managing of the next.
Okay, thank you, Omer, very much.